Thank you for watching this video. I'm talking about public speaking, and we would like to learn some lessons from the story of David and Goliath. Very, very famous Bible story where we see a man called Goliath who was representing his army, and they were supposed to fight the Israelites, where a small boy called David offered to fight. So when we talk about public speaking, people just think of you going on a big stage or a small stage for that matter, and you begin to talk to people, maybe at a conference or maybe at a symposium or at a seminar or in a classroom or in a lecture room or in a training room. Yes, all that is public speaking. But when I teach people public speaking and when I coach people public speaking, I let people understand that public speaking includes many other things that you don't think about. For example, when you are preparing to go for an interview, for a job, that's actually public speaking, because you need public speaking skills. As an entrepreneur, when you go to a place and you are supposed to pitch your idea to investors, that is public speaking. For executives, CEOs, CFOs, and so on, when you are presenting to your employees or you are presenting to the board, you are actually doing public speaking. So I want you to see from the story of David and Goliath. I'm going to read a few scriptures later on just to show you how David actually engaged in public speaking and how Goliath also engaged in public speaking. Public speaking is so key. You will see for yourself shortly. So I'm going to take a few readings for you from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 17, where we see Goliath, the Philistine, actually challenging David. I'm sure you have also seen it even in wrestling matches where the wrestlers tend to intimidate each other. One will actually say, I'm gonna kill you today. This is what I'm gonna do to you. I'm the champion of wrestling. And the other one is listening. You see, if you are the opponent, you cannot just keep quiet and talk in your heart. You also need to engage in public speaking. And you come out and you say, I know what you did to Yokozuna. That was nothing. If you know that I'm a killer, today I'm gonna roast you. I'll teach you big lessons. You see, so as you are doing that, you are actually psyching yourself. You are putting fear in the other person. You are putting courage in yourself. And before you know it, you approach the person and you break their neck. I'm not promoting wrestling, but I'm just saying this is how guys do it. So let's look at 1 Samuel chapter 17. And I just want to read from verse number 8. Then he stood and cried out to the armies of Israel and said to them, why have you come out to line up for battle? That's Goliath asking the army of Israel. Am I not a Philistine, and you the servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves, and let him come down to me. If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then you shall be our servants and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. That's Goliath. He engaged in public speaking the same way that you will do, when you are actually speaking on stage and when you are negotiating and so on. Let me skip some of these passages because they are very long. Let me move straight to verse 31. Now when the words which David spoke were heard, they reported them to Saul, and he sent for him. Then David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. So David was just a 17-year-old boy. He was a small boy. So people didn't believe that a 17-year-old boy could fight with a veteran of war. So they were convincing him that, small boy, we know you came here to bring food to your brothers who are soldiers. Just go back home. But he convinced them. You see, so negotiation is actually part of public speaking. He convinced them that, look, you don't have to be worried about me. Because when I was herding my father's sheep, a lion came and I killed it. A bear came, I killed it. He showed that I'm actually a warrior in my own way. I may not be a trained soldier. I may be a civilian, but I'm a mighty man. He was able to convince Saul and the rest of the army. Let's hear for ourselves. Verse 32, then David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine. Verse 33, and Saul said to David, you are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. You see, there is like a negotiation, like a debate going on. Saul is trying to show David, David, you are too small. This man started fighting when he was your age. Stop it. But David said to Saul, your servant used to keep his father's sheep, and when a lion or a bear came and took a lamb out of the flock, I went out after it and struck it, and delivered the lamb from its mouth. And when it arose against me, I caught it by its beard, and struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both lion and bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, seeing he has defied the armies of the living God. Moreover, David said, the Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and from the paw of the bear, he would deliver me from the hand of the Philistine. Do you see that this is public speaking? Right? And Saul said to David, go and the Lord be with you. So when we teach people public speaking, when we coach people public speaking, we are trying to help them to be able to negotiate. We are trying to help them to speak even in front of many people. Let me just show you the last portion now. Verse 42. This is the part I really want you to listen very carefully. And I want you to take notes on this one. Because we now see Goliath face to face with David. Goliath is face to face with David, and he is very good at public speaking. So he looks at David and begins to talk. But he didn't know that David had mastered this game. David actually spoke more than Goliath spoke. Look at this. So 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 42. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was only a youth, ruddy and good looking. So the Philistine said to David, am I a dog that you come to me with the sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. I want you to listen very carefully. The Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. Then David said to the Philistine, verse 45, you come to me with a sword, with a spear, and with a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you and take your head from you. And this day I will give the carcasses of the camp of the Philistines to the birds of the air and the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Then all this assembly shall know that the Lord does not save with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. So it was when the Philistine arose and came and drew near to meet David, that David hurried and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. What happened here? The Philistine spoke just a few words, but David was full of words. If David did not understand the art of public speaking, he was not going to be able to convince Saul for him to fight with Goliath. Firstly. Secondly, when he was intimidated by the size of Goliath, by the words that Goliath spoke, if he didn't understand the art of public speaking, he was not going to be able to speak more words against Goliath. Not only that, but as he was speaking, it motivated him. It stirred up anger in him. It stirred up boldness in him. And he was the first to run towards Goliath and pull him down. He knocked him with a stone, and Goliath was down. And in the end, David was able to cut the head of Goliath. But it began as public speaking. How good are you at public speaking? I would like to talk to you. Leave comments in the comment section. And remember to follow this channel, because there is much more coming. Public speaking coaching is what we do, and we love this game. Let me know how you feel and what have you learned from this video. I love you. Dr. Wilbert Mutoko signing out. Bye-bye.